This morning, we are exploring how widow's fire feels in our bodies. Widows describe widow's fire as an overwhelming, unwanted, burning desire for sex and intimacy. And this feeling is more intense than they have ever known. It can feel overwhelming, showing up as soon as 2 weeks or even a few years after your partner's death. Widow's fire often leaves a widow or a widower feeling unwanted desire, horniness, confusion, shame, frustration, and loneliness. Your body is trying to survive what happened, and sometimes that survival feels like a fire, which is why it's called widow's fire. For many widows, widow's fire doesn't arrive like you prepared and planned and you're confident about dating or having sex again. No, it arrives suddenly and it feels really physical and it just like comes on strong. So it may feel like a restless ache in your heart at night, the uncomfortable sensation that surface when we see a loving couple showing affection in public. It's that heavy buzzing feeling in our pelvis and thighs. It's an almost magnetic pull toward every single attractive man we pass, and for some women, even the unattractive ones. I remember attending a holiday party with my young children, and I was just casually talking to this mediocre looking man and his wife. And all of a sudden, I had this intrusive thought, and it was just so awful about he and I going upstairs. I politely excused myself. It was a little bit weird. Sometimes we also find ourselves lying in the dark, phone in hand, not sure whether to cry or to text someone or please ourselves. Buddhist fire is often described as this acute form of skin hunger, a starvation for physical touch. So a widow may feel her arms, her back, the curves of her body that used to rest against his, all leaning toward the empty space where his warmth once was. She longs to be desired again by him or anyone who will desire her. You literally feel starved of physical closeness and sexual affection. You just feel starved of touch. I remember my widow's fire phase. I felt like Haley Steinfeld sang her popular pop song, Starving Just for Me. I included a link to that song in the show notes, but it's a good song. Sometimes the fire feels like a surge of desire that makes you want to rip off someone's clothes. Sometimes we find ourselves lustfully checking out every man's package and ring finger. Other times, it may just feel like a long, achy pain. This desire to be held, to be pleased, to feel a familiar weight next to us, to have anyone press their warm chest against ours and say, I want you. And then, of course, there's all these conflicting feelings that arrive. One part of you loves him, misses him, and still just can't wrap your mind around the fact he's not coming home. Another part of you is waking up in a bed with a body of your own that remembers what it's like to be wanted, to be touched, to be kissed, to be loved. So, in the same moment we feel desire, we also can feel shame. We feel shame because we can feel devastated and turned on in the same week, day, and even the same moment. Shame because we feel this deep grief and at the same time so alive that we want to pursue every semi-attractive man we see. We might feel shame because if others knew what we were feeling and what was going through our mind, they might think that we were awful or disloyal. We decide to swallow the fire or let it burn. We feel lonelier at this time because we can talk about our tears, but not about the nights we almost sent that text. We almost drove to someone's house or almost reached for anyone who could make us feel alive. We don't share about the failed attempts to be with someone new, or even the times we had a passionate night with a neighbor or a coworker or a stranger. One widow, Elizabeth Klein, she wrote her story in the Huff Personal. She wrote that it was as though my body had suddenly remembered it was alive while my heart was still learning how to be on its own. The contrast was jarring. I'd spend hours sobbing while sorting through his things and then take a break to masturbate. Oh my goodness, the confusion there. Widow's fire can feel lonely because, well, society expects our sexuality to end when our partner dies, but we're still alive. And it hurts more when no one recognizes our loss of sex and intimacy that went with our relationship. So another feeling is disorientation, because inside widow's fire, our grief and our desire, well, they collide. So widow's fire can also feel like a betrayal, even though it's not a betrayal, but it's our body's way of trying to survive and heal and recover from something really terrible. If this is you, whatever you are feeling regarding sex, desire, intimacy, it is a human and normal grieving process that is misunderstood by most. So please be kind to yourself. So chapter 2, which is a dating app for widows and widowers, shared in a blog post that it conducted a survey that reported over 40% of their widow's fire members experienced an increased libido after the death of their partner, along with an unexpected urge and intensity of sexual desire. And yes, this came under 6 months after the loss. And this happened to me too, okay? And that's why I'm here. I once mistook widow's fire for being truly ready for sex and intimacy and a new relationship. I knew at the time there was a connection between trauma, loss, and the urge for sexual desire, but I didn't have any solid evidence about this. So I definitely thought that this time was different. So sometimes unwanted desire is a way to feel seen, comforted, and reminded that we are alive, safe, and loved. And it can make us feel that way temporarily. There's nothing bad or disgusting about widow's fire. There is nothing immoral about it. And it's not a betrayal to your love that died. It's not a betrayal to yourself, but it can feel that way. So you're not moving on too fast because your body remembers. It just remembers desire and it's struggling through a tremendous loss. Remember that you're a woman whose nervous system has been shaken, whose sense of connection has been hurt, whose body knows what it's like to be loved and it misses that. Your body aches deeply for the relationship and partner you lost. And that's to be expected. So now that we have an idea of what widow's fire feels like, in the next 2 episodes, we'll learn more about what widow's fire is. I'm actually looking at the research there, why it shows up, and then how to handle it. So I hope that you can be patient and kind with yourself and that you can embrace this widow's fire as just a normal part of the grieving process. Now, as we close, I invite you to sit or lay down in a comfortable position that is just about 5% more comfortable than what you were in. And then notice, once you're there, just notice how you feel. I invite you to kind of scan your body and notice where there might be some pain, discomfort, or maybe heat. Do this without judgment. And then if you're okay with it, gently place your hands there. Now I'll guide us through 3 gentle rounds of a cooling breath. So the way this works is that we'll inhale through the nose for 4 counts and then exhale through the mouth for 6, but we'll be like blowing through a straw. So we'll inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Repeat that. Inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Noticing the sensations underneath your hands. Exhale through the straw. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale out the straw. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Noticing how you feel. Hands in place. I invite you to say out loud, I give myself permission to grieve and yearn for physical and emotional intimacy in my own way, in my own time. Keep breathing softly. Maybe bring both hands to your heart center. Just remember, we want to cool the fire, not put it out. We want to let our body know that we are here and that we understand. You don't have to carry this fire alone. And if you are feeling widow's fire, here's a reflective question for you. You can think about it, pray about it, or just journal it. So what am I most longing for underneath this urge? Is it touch, affirmation? Is it escape? Maybe I need more sleep. Maybe I just need to feel alive. Maybe it's something else. Think about it. If you related to this episode at all, feel free to comment below or send me a message at patienceofthemourning.com. Thank you for trusting me with your grief today. May you walk with love and peace. Please subscribe to this video or like it, and I will see you in the next episode.